Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. As always, my name is Joy. Now I've been gone for a while, but I'm back like I never left. Now for those of you who have been on this journey with me for a while, you do know at the beginning of every year, I do start off with 21 days of prayer and fasting. And this year, one of the things that God asked me to do was fast from my channel. So I wasn't allowed to post any videos. I wasn't allowed to comment. But that's just because God does not want anything to become an idol in our lives. He's a jealous God. And he was dealing with me as far as how much time I was spending on the channel. Right? So I've heard from God. I have a lot of great messages for you. And the first message that I'm going to be sharing today is a message that I got on January 2nd. And it is time. And then the next part, because it's a two-part message, it says move in faith, right? So the number one thing that God wanted to address is the issue of prophecy and time, and then also the issue of faith, right? And I'm going to be, in my next videos, you'll notice that I'm going to be dealing a lot with mainly faith, because that's something that God is dealing with me in my life. And God never allows me to come and post a video about something that he hasn't already dealt with me on, right? So the first scripture that I got was, and I'm not going to go into the scripture. You can go ahead and read about it. The first scripture is 1 Chronicles, and it's verse 12 and 32. And it talks about the sons of Issachar, right? So if you read in the Bible, the sons of Issachar had this discernment where they were able to discern the times and the seasons, right? And when I studied what commentary had to say about this, they said because they were able to discern the times and seasons, they were able to advise the children of Israel on how they should move, right? That was the same thing with the three wise men, right? The three wise men were able to discern that the star was different. This was something different. God is doing something different. And they were able to discern that it's a new season. Something is about to happen, right? And God is saying he has put prophets out there to be able to communicate with his children right now, to be able to tell them what he is getting ready to do, or what he is doing, right? But God is saying it has gotten to a place where his children have become so dependent on this on this prophetic word. We just want a prophetic word, God. I want a prophetic word. I don't want the prophetic direction. Just give it to me and give it to me now, right? And yes, it's great. You get a prophetic word, but there's always going to be direction. There's going to be something that's required of you when it comes to that prophetic word, right? So the other scripture that God gave me when it comes to the issue of time, because he said, a lot of my children are saying, God, what's the exact date for this promise? What's the exact date for this prophecy, God? When are you going to bring it to pass, right? And I said, God is dealing with a few issues, right? The first one is time and prophecy, and the next one is faith. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this first scripture, Acts 1, and it's verse 6 and 7. So when the apostles were with Jesus, they kept asking him, Lord, has the time come for you to free Israel and restore our kingdom? He replied, this is Jesus, the Father alone has the authority to set those dates and times, and they are not for you to know, right? So God has put forth prophets who are able to discern the changes, the times and seasons when they are changing. And they are able to guide his children so his children can move, can start acting, can start taking those prophetic instructions that they are receiving. But the exact date for your breakthrough, nobody knows that. The exact date for your breakthrough, nobody knows that but God. And only God can set that exact date. Only God can set that exact date. So, yes, you're going to get the prophecies. Yes, there's going to be instructions that come with the prophecies, right? But your job is to move in faith. Your job is to move. It is to take action, to move. God is saying right now, you need to move in faith. And the story that God downloaded to me is the story of Abraham. When Abraham was called to leave his kindreds, was called to leave his father's home and to go to a land that God would show him, right? I'm going to read this. Genesis 12, and I'm going to read verse 1, 2, and 4. The Lord had said to Abram, leave your native country, your relatives, and your father's family, and go to the land that I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you and make you famous, and you will be a blessing to others. Verse 4. So Abraham departed as the Lord had instructed, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Right? So God comes to Abraham, and God is like, Abraham, leave thy country. Leave everybody that you have known. Leave your job. Leave your home. Leave your family. Leave your comfort zone. Leave and go to a land that I will show you. God did not tell Abraham, on this day, tomorrow, I am going to deliver you into this land called Canaan, a land flowing with milk and honey, and it's going to happen on January 27. No, God told Abraham, I need you to get up. I need you to leave. I need you to separate from everything you're familiar with. Start moving in faith and go where I am calling you to go. Go where I am telling you to go. And you know what Abraham did? Abraham got up and he started walking. He started moving. And as he started moving, God started giving him directions. So let me tell you, yes, you've gotten the prophetic word. Yes, you've gotten the prophetic promise. And I'm not saying they're wrong, because guess what? Just like the sons of Issachar, the prophets now are able to discern when God is doing a new thing, because God has provided them with that ability. But guess what? It's going to require you moving in faith. God is not going to give you an exact date when he's going to deliver your miracle. You need to get up and you need to move. You need to start walking. And what do you do when God is silent? You need to continue doing the last thing that God told you. If you continue reading the story of Abraham, Abraham kept going until he heard next from God. He kept moving until he heard next from God. And that's what you're going to have to do. We have to get away from this mentality that God is just going to drop us into our miracle. That's not how it's going to happen. News, reality. A prophetic word has prophetic instructions. Everybody wants a prophetic word, but nobody wants the prophetic instructions. It is time we start listening to the prophetic words and start moving using the prophetic instructions. It is time. It is time. And it is the time for you to move in faith. Whatever God has told you to do last, that's what you should be doing. Don't expect a new word if you haven't even done what God told you to do. Don't expect a new word if you haven't even moved with the last word that God told you to move. Right? So God is speaking, and he is saying right now, it is time for you to move in faith. It's time. Abraham didn't know where he was going. Abraham was just like, all right, Sarai, come on, let's go. Hey, let's pack up the donkeys, the camels. Hey, come on. God said we got to leave Ur of the Chaldeans. We got to go. Oh, Sarai is like, where are we going? God's going to show us. That's faith. Faith is God doing his part. But faith without works on your end is dead. If you just sit there and think that God is going to drop you into your miracle, reality check. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to have to move. As always, he loves you. I love you. Be blessed. Mwah.